what do you got going on in your life that is Bert Show drama here? In this email, you can hit us up at thebertshow.com. So her best friend of 30 years was having an affair with a married man, so she asked her to cover for her. But once she got busted, she stopped talking to her. So now what happens? Kristen's got the email.
Hey guys, love you so much. I am from Mexico. I need your advice on what to do with the situation that has been going on for many years. A little background. I have this friend that I've known for more than 30 years. We lost contact with each other for several years. She moved to another town, and a couple years later after that, I happened to move to the same town as she did. We reconnected and became BFFs. I considered her as the sister I never had. Time went by, and she started a relationship with this married man. She was also married. She asked me several times to cover for her, which I did. Then suddenly, she stopped reaching out to me as often as she did. She one day confessed this man didn't like us hanging out. I didn't get why, but I understood and stepped back. 2 or 3 years went by, and they got caught. His wife forgave him as long as they ended their relationship. Her husband filed for divorce. They kept seeing each other, and he promised her that he would divorce his wife. Obviously, that never happened. They broke up, and I found out about it through another friend. So I reached out again, and again, and again. I only get one-word responses via text. I am always the one texting her on Christmas, birthdays, every time it's me. I really miss her. She was my BFF. It's been a few years now, and I don't know if I should stop trying. I was there for her through thick and thin. I paid for her and her daughter's food and gas for almost 2 years. Should I let go and stop reaching out? I still have hope to recover that awesome friendship we once had. Thanks for your advice.
So I'm usually trying to be sensitive to cultural differences, especially when she starts the email out saying, I'm from Mexico.
But then never really reference the pertinence of that.
I can't see anything in here that would pertain to Mexico or being Mexican rather than anybody else. So I don't know that that really applies. What do you do in a situation like this?
I think you let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's unfortunate. I understand. Obviously, y'all have been friends for a very long time, but it appears to me like she's just using everybody. I mean, she used you pretty much to work on her situation where she was a part of infidelity, and now because of that, you've been asked to step away. And I'm sure it has something to do with the guy, like she said. But either way, she obviously used you and then threw you off when she didn't need you. And sometimes it's hard to accept that a friend that you've been friends with so long can do something like that. But it is what it is. She showed you who she really is, and I think you let it go.
1-855-BERT Show. If you were playing best friend here, what would you do?
Yeah, and I know you got 30 years of history there.
Yeah.
And that is so hard to let go. But if the writing's on the wall here, you reach out to her again and again and again. You get one-word responses. You're always the one that's initiating conversations on holidays and birthdays. And I get you really miss her, but it sounds like she doesn't miss you. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. Like, if she wanted to be best friends again, she would. And maybe that's the last text you send. Be like, hey, I feel like I've tried over the years to rekindle this friendship, but it doesn't seem like you're into it. I would love to be friends again, like we used to be. But if you're not into that, just let me know.
This one here, because they've been friends for so long, 30 years, I'm going to go ahead and put her in top tier sister.
That's a
almost
history.
like a sister.
For sure.
I'm showing up at the door. I'm actually knocking on the door and saying, we're talking this one out here because a text or an email, it's not working. But this is the kind of friendship here that's so important. I mean, you got to knock on the door and say, what is going on? You're like my sister.
I think that would be big of you, and I understand why you would do it. But this feels like my favorite Maya Angelou quote applies. When people show you who they really are, you should believe them. And I feel like, regardless of the years, she's showing you who she is, and it's not going to change, so I just think you should believe it.
But also, my theory here, Mo, and I don't know that it applies here, but people have a character resume with you. You know who she is over the course of 30 years. She's been consistent and shown you exactly who she is. So when she's doing something so out of character on this one thing, can't you just assume that something here isn't right? Something is off rather than this broad opinion that she's just a different person now.
No, but this isn't a one-off. I mean, she let a man dictate her friendship, and she cast her friend of 30 years aside because her side piece didn't want her hanging out with her anymore. So, I mean, that's a mark on that's a mark. And then afterwards, and the two of them, she gets a divorce and you're trying to be there for her and she wants nothing to do with you, she's telling you she doesn't want to be your friend.
Hey, Angela, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show. What's up?
Hi, good morning. First and foremost, I'm a big fan. I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Thank you.
Secondly, I think I would have to agree with Mo. When it comes down to it, you can't, make those people change the way they go about life. And as a personal experience, I went through a situation. I was friends with somebody for like 11 years. And then due to my own choices in relationship, they dropped me out of nowhere. And I was the person to continue to text them and ask them how they were. And I never got a response back. So like I said, when it comes down to it, you can't make that person be your friend, and you can't, dwell and sit in that emotion. You got to learn to accept it and move forward.
Appreciate you calling, Angela. Thank you for listening.
Of course. Thank you.
The Bert Show.
So first, thanks for watching. Second, you like what you just watched? That just scratches the surface. Get the Bert Show on any podcast platform. We're so good.